bam, zippity ba pow. Hey everybody, welcome back to Karandrin Role Playing. My name is Kevin Manus Pinnings, also known as Cracked Palantir, and I'm sorry about being late for this episode 162 of Brise's Tale. As always, my good buddy Max is here to play the beautiful and talented cleric paladin Brise. Max, say hello to the lovely people.
Hey everybody, we're having a wonderful Wednesday. Ready for this amazing episode of Karandrin.
That's right. I apologize for being late. It's entirely my fault. I hit the wrong button on my alarm clock and I just slept away. But better late than never, I hope we can say. So, so we're sort of in a lull between tasks right now. We're back at Lady Miagraw's Keep. We've been dealing with a number of issues that we've sort of wrapped up. Excuse me. So among those is having broken into Holver's and Volshad's little town, and set free a dream weaver, the spirit of a dream weaver. We were successful in rescuing the dream weaver such that other people's dreams could not be manipulated and influenced at the whim of Holver and Volshan. And so that's one item wrapped up. We have picked up another sort of task that we haven't figured out a way to go about, and that is to address Holver and Volshad's pursuit of what's called the nine-fingered candle. And Max, why don't you tell us a little bit about the nine-fingered candle?
I would love to tell our audience about the nine-fingered candle. So, this is a very, very dark, very powerful artifact. Last seen hundreds of years ago, where it contains summons a creature called the Uthnorn after speaking a ritual that has to be done by 3 people. And this Uthnorn is this giant dark mass that can descend upon a city and cause a very painful death to everyone who encounters it. And so again, very powerful artifact that was last seen a couple hundred years ago, where it was attempted to be destroyed, but at the moment it was going to be destroyed, it disappeared. And so since then, various individuals have been searching for it. We have one individual last spotted 30 years ago who was searching for it, though he seems kind of like a dead end. Trying to get in contact with him, kind of remote and hard to get to, and doesn't seem willing to talk with people. But we do have a couple other leads that we're pursuing, including a seer person who is good at basically seeing into the past and the future and knowing things in the domain of knowledge that we're going to try to reach out to and use their arts to see if we can determine where the crown was sent to, or at least learn more about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty heavy-duty magic item, and not when you want on the wrong hands. We knew that it did.
On the wrong head.
That's right. We know that it slew an entire city, at least one in its history, and certainly people would take lengths to go to great lengths to prevent it from happening again. There's also news of the giantess, Lady Crom,
Right.
That she met Um, Interesting. It's too long for the
The
display.
forces of Lady of
Hmm.
Ladi.
Interesting. Have to modify that, I guess. Um, but yeah, it's only just short word.
You might just remove by threats, kept at bay by the wizard Fraldrum.
Mm-hmm. Um,
Paying for the streaming software for years, and they can't even have 3 lines in their caption.
Yeah, I know.
God damn.
It's kind of weird. Let's see if that works. There we go. So we know that Lady Crom had a meeting with another giant representative, meeting in which they exchanged gifts. We don't know much else that happened, and that's a question to put before the eagles and the giant eagles that occupy the valleys to the north, where Lady Crom's meeting took place. So that's another point of interest that might occupy us. I was going to ask you if Athene was informed about the meeting.
Of Lady Crom?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming, I guess, you know what happens when you assume, but Fraldrum and Athene, would contact each other, regularly.
Keep each other in the loop.
Yeah. Brise would imagine that, right? That Fraldrum and Athene are both kind of up here.
Yeah.
Must be able to talk to each other.
I
never figured out if Athene is knowledgeable in the arts, like of magic.
Right. There's sort of no reason to. Yeah, there's sort of no reason for her to display that. She's not had reason to in your meetings.
Right. For sure, Miagral doesn't care.
Right.
Certain things are too technical or too, what's the word, arcane for them to waste their time on.
Right. So is there something I've left off that I should? We know you're back now at Lady Miagral's Keep. It's morning. You returned from the dwarven city of Gordovan, but I think we're relatively caught up.
I think so as well. I'm looking through here. So sorry if everyone can hear. Azrael is making a lot of noise.
That's right.
That's okay, because I've got
Auntie,
in case they don't leave me alone.
That's right.
We'll see if it works. That's we did get some info also on the Great Sky Rings is a topic I'm researching, and we've heard that in the library there at Miagral Keep, they'll hopefully have a tome ready for me to read through later today or tomorrow. And then also we are summoning the priestess from the village of Pelka, which is another one of our leads to possibly glean information on the nine-fingered candle.
Yeah. The Pelka is the village that Holver and Volshad are stationed in. And so hopefully they've dropped the name of whomever they're dealing with in terms of trying to acquire, because it's a trade apparently that they're trying to, their part of the trade is to give the nine-fingered candle to whomever. And we're trying to figure out who that whomever is. So,
what's the other item that they're trading for?
yeah, what are they getting in return?
Crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's legitimately scary questions here. So yeah, back at Lady Miagra's Keep, and you're just waking up in the morning, right? And we've got to. Have we done your three? We haven't done your three rolls. I don't think we did.
We did, because I woke up and read some notes.
Okay.
Delivered, so it's July 16th in the morning.
Okay. All right, sir. What would Brise like to do on this beautiful July morning in the mountains?
Beautiful July. Well, yeah. So, looking through my current goals, it's probably going to be 2 to 4 days till the priestess arrives in Ballabry. So I probably don't want to be too far from the keep at any point, or too far from Ballabry. But do have some questions here. So we know I do eventually want to get to Morgram as well. We have some interesting contacts there we might want to try to ask about the religion I'm a part of. And then one thing I forgot to ask you about, Kevin, is the Trinidas. Let me update this guy. Last talked to them on July 3rd. So I guess there hasn't been any other news from the Vetch besides what we already know.
That's a good question. Right. Yeah, there's no you've not seen hide nor hair of them. So I should toss up the description of the Trinidas. But so all you can do is sort of wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
When the Trinidas appear, obviously it's for good reason.
Right. Okay. So then I will probably just spend the day taking it pretty easy until we get news of more information here. So let's go just have breakfast and spend some time reading from my tome, Nature's Law.
All right, roll it up for me.
54.
Okay. A good hour in.
Okay. So did we leveled up, right? Did we figure out if it was level 14, 15?
You're going to 14.
I am going to 14. Okay.
So you are now 14. We're counting you as 14.
Excellent. Doing some experience off screen, and then hopefully level 15 as well. Do we catch up with everything that's been happening?
Say again?
Oh, just after everything that's been happening.
So yeah, I got to level up your character, and you may be moving on to the next stages of Nature's Law, if that's your wish.
Yeah.
So
your wish is my command.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I wanted to spend time doing is eventually want to resume our exploration of the catacombs beneath Pesidarius.
Right.
And Brise would be interested in having other adventurers accompany her.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought was for Brise to kind of just put out a word quietly about in Pesidarius about any adventurers seeking the catacombs, and find one or two people willing to accompany her, who I guess are not too close-minded to the kind of religious possibility of uncovering something heretical, right? Because that's basically what I'm researching is something that would go against existing doctrine.
Right.
Right. So I could go to Pesidarius today and kind of put out those feelers and then meet with those people.
True.
A few days time would be my thought.
Yeah, that's a possibility to get done. What am I looking? I've got to mark this out.
Word that. Level 14, does that mean you're finally getting the cleansing touch power?
Cleansing.
I read that as cleansing touch powder. Like, I haven't heard of that cleaner brand.
After some, a bath and some reading, sort of toward the end of your reading, there's a knock at your door, and it's Fraudrum. Fraudrum says that she and Athene have been talking. Athene, for our viewers, Athene is
my boss, basically.
Basically your handler at the keep. That they've been talking, and they were wondering to what degree you'd be willing to scout Lady Crom's valley and see if you can find giants to trail and listen to their conversation to see if you can find out anything about the meeting. The possibility has also occurred to them that Lady Crom may be seeking the nine-fingered candle.
She would wear it as a ring, just like
her thumb.
Just as one of these, and then summons the Uthnorn. Okay. So I say that's an interesting proposition. I've heard that I think Fraldrum, you yourself told me that it's a very difficult to find. I guess her hideout is very difficult to find. Do you think I'm not sure I have the arts to, discern illusion.
We don't expect you to make it to her palace.
Okay.
It's more about finding her patrols along the mountains and the valleys and listen to their conversation. We could certainly provide you a means for understanding giant so that you could listen in. And we would advise you not to use too much magic, or Lady Crom will certainly be alerted.
Right.
But trailing a couple of patrols for a couple of days, you're small enough in their eyes that you're easily enough hid, so long as you don't get Lady Crom's attention. You could probably pursue a patrol for 3 or 4 days and see what gossip there is among them.
Interesting. Is there anything in particular I should be listening for? I suppose like their plans, any items they're any mentions of items they're searching for.
Well, obviously, any mention of the nine-fingered candle.
Right.
Any reference to the meeting itself or the items exchanged at the meeting. And of course, any reference to Lady Mia Grawl or her lands.
Mm-hmm. I track the giant trolls. I could definitely accomplish that.
They don't have a particularly tight timeline. But obviously you don't want to wait too long because gossip will calm down within the among her troops, among her people.
Right. They just had that meeting with the other giant folk.
Yeah. And she has sent word to the Eagles and to I've forgotten his name, the Goblin Seer.
Plush.
Plush. I had Kepik on my mind because I saw him in a caption. And so so hopefully in a day or two, they'll have more information as well. You know, you of course can bring up the fact that, you know, you've got a contact coming into town probably tomorrow that you need to question, but you could probably leave the day after tomorrow.
You mean Enokar?
Yeah.
Oh, it was 2 to 4 days. Yeah, they sent out the request this morning. So I'm assuming it's, well, would it be better to wait for her to get here, or could I leave now and then, you know, if she's waiting a day or two in Malabry?
It's true. It's not likely her memory's gonna cool off.
Right.
You know, not over the
I don't know if it's rude to keep a priest from another village, you know, away.
They just need to know that they need to, you know, the
Right.
temple needs to know, you know, they need to have enough busy work for her. And, you know, so that it seems like the wait is needed.
Okay. So we can.
Unless you want to entrust the questions to Kepik, you know.
Yeah. How much do I trust Kepik? Did I ever roll for his? How my feeling is for him? Let me see if I have that in my notes.
Yeah, your gut feeling on him.
He's quiet. Kepik was also Kepik's like the way he acted toward Aldrich. Remember, there was that confrontation where Aldrich was trying to defend me.
Mm-hmm.
Kepik was kind of a you know, talked down to him.
Talk down to him or put him in his place?
Put him in his place. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't have anything kind of leaning towards whether I really trust him or not to ask the right questions.
Well, that's why you would, you know, give him some direction in terms of questions. Right. And
okay. Yeah, let's do that. I think I could. Brise would be fine as long as she gives him good direction on what to ask in a car.
Right.
And it might be more effective if he asks her directly. Then
keeps you out of the, and it keeps you out of the loop.
Right. Okay. So yeah, let's I'll go do that right after this. See if I can meet with Kepik.
So they need to get you. They've offered to get you magic items to help you understand giant.
Yeah.
You do have your Kelthorn, your talking staff.
Right. Though the Kelthorn repeats it out loud, does it? Or does it actually just translate it?
It does translate out loud.
Right. So I would prefer something that's more quiet, right? That it could do it,
Right.
just innately. And on that note, something to help me hear maybe from further away would also be useful.
But you've got ears of the hair, don't you?
It's only 1 minute per level, so I would need to cast it, in the valley, probably repeatedly.
Mm,
It would be better to have if there's an item
right.
for me.
Where are right here? Not there.
Yeah. Also, last time I cast Ears of the Hair, I
There is
missed like a whole day.
there is a bad memory there. Yes.
What was that? We just during experience it was 130 HP. Damage. First fumble.
Yeah, that was really bad.
So I'll note down some other things. Magic items for understanding giant. How long does a potion of the chameleon last for as well? I have 0 potions of the chameleon.
Oh yeah.
Several minutes.
They will, yeah, they'll gather goods for you. They should have them ready by noon.
Okay. I also ask, is there a particular area? Like, do we have a map where kind of the boundary of Crom's territory is, where we know the patrols are going to be concentrated?
We can give you directions on how to get to the valley that is at the foot of her mountain.
Okay.
And the closer you go to the mountain, the more likely you are to encounter patrols.
Right.
And so, as you sort of scout the area, you should be able to fall into a giant's track pretty soon and begin pursuing it fairly speedily.
Okay.
But I don't think they would have a map. I don't think there would be a reason for them to have a map. But certainly finding the patrols won't be hard because it's going to be usually a pair of giants.
Mm-hmm.
There's usually 3 patrols out, usually in pairs. And depending on what you feel about your relationship to the Great Eagles, you think they would carry you there?
I mean, yes, but also I've been carried by an eagle before. and it wasn't a very good experience. So
You'd rather not go that way.
Breeze might rather go on foot, actually. She's not good with heights either. So, although I wonder if we should roll. I've been carried by birds like 3 times now. I wonder if we should roll if I'm getting over that fear.
I would be shocked if those terrifying experiences in any way
We call it
lessen
immersion therapy.
immersion. Right?
Live your fear.
Conversion therapy. You are now converted to being more afraid of. I should get rid of that.
So will I say I'll go on foot? Although if I see the eagles and they can point me in the direction of any of their patrols, that would be
Helpful, yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
So
you said patrols of giants are in pairs, and there's usually 3 patrols.
Yes. So she thanks you for your time, wishes you luck, tells you that around noon, servants should be bringing potions of many tongues and potions of hare's ear.
Okay.
And those would be much harder for Crom to detect also when you use them.
They accidentally bring me potion of many ears and hare's tongue.
That's right. That's right. You're like, man, I just want carrots. Is anyone else just hungry for carrots?
Man, I can't. This raw lettuce is just fantastic.
That's right.
I'll take a salad, please.
I just feel like eating a hedge.
I have it stew. Oh.
It's awful. So, got a couple hours to kill.
I attack with my spear. We'll go practice some spear throwing.
Okay.
Continue to shape up that skill.
Yeah.
It's probably about a month I've been practicing that now.
Yeah. Soldiers are free to set you up a couple of dummies.
Mm-hmm.
They hang out, flirting with you.
I just, every time they do, I just throw the spear and like even harder. Like, oh, okay. Hey, shut up. I just got to wave it at her and she's like, okay, geez.
That's right. While you're there and they're talking with you, they say, you know, have you been down to Ballabry lately and hung out at any of the bars? You know, because you can get quite a few drinks bought for you, you know, if you can come across this one fellow. Seems really interested in the keep and Ballabry, and we got so many free beers last night, free ales.
Really? Tell me more.
Goblin, not as handsome as us, obviously. But older fellow. Short, stocky. asking questions about Lady Meagral, kind of host she is, and how she treats her guests. You know, we mentioned you and um, Adabir and others who have come and gone from the castle, and
Mm-hmm.
they seem quite interested in that. Um, yeah, I think we got 4 ales apiece off of him.
What interested him the most about these about Lady Meagrel's guests?
The 2 guards kind of look at each other, and hard to say. But you know, we apparently he's been there for 4 or 5 days, and we heard about him through some of the other boys.
And where is he staying?
He's renting a house on the edge of town. That's what he said. It's the north edge of town.
And you know any of the taverns you visited last night? You were able to find him at?
Yeah, he circulates. He visits 2 or 3 taverns a night.
So it shouldn't be hard to find him.
No, I wouldn't think so. He's just a guy who likes to talk and likes to listen.
Well, I will keep an eye out for him. Any other details about his appearance you can tell me?
Pretty nice clothing. Never really did get around to asking him what he did. Hinted that he liked to travel, but his clothes are nicer than most people in town.
Mm-hmm.
Walks with a bit of a limp, has a cane. Black wood with a silver cap. Goes by the name Ivar. Ivar.
Ivar the Terrible Goblin.
That's right.
Okay. Maybe I'll go check that out tonight before I go out to, and then the next day we can go into the searching for Lady Crom's patrols. I think we can afford to wait a day.
Yeah.
See what's up with Ivar. Okay.
Noon rolls around. You spend a couple hours throwing the old spear, if you know what I mean. Head back to wait on your shipments, your deliveries to your door.
Mm-hmm.
They're already set inside your sitting area.
All right.
So you have 10 potions of many tongues and 10 potions of hare's ears.
I'm assuming I'll return whatever I don't use to keep stash.
I think I was that thirsty. Man, I've gone down, drained my water.
You need a potion of thirst quenching.
I do.
Just as Gatorade.
That's right. Just Gatorade. So those are ready for you.
Okay.
Um,
So we'll have some lunch and then head over to. Oh, did they give me directions to Crom's territory? Verbally, I guess.
yeah, there are written directions.
Okay.
And there's a sketch of the peak of Crom's mountain. And it looks very familiar to you because, of course, it's the mountain that was at the foot of the gathering of Obrave.
Oh, wow. Right, of course. Right.
So that valley is on one side of that mountain. So you could, if you can have an adequate enough memory of the location there, you might be able to teleport directly there.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the gathering of Obreve. Could I picture an event in the past and then teleport there? It's not really something I've tried.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you have a clear memory of it. And the thing is, that it's dramatically changed because your memory is of tents and buildings.
Right. That's what I'm saying is what would happen if I tried to teleport with the tent in mind. Right. That were set up there temporarily.
Well, presumably nothing because there is no such location now.
Oh, I see what you mean. The spell would theoretically fail because.
Right. There is nothing for it to latch onto as a location like that.
Right.
But if you can remember a natural element to the valley that was striking, like, oh, I remember that really interesting table-like rock. I thought about, hey, it's tall enough to eat on or whatever. You know, just sort of struck you as interesting.
Yeah.
Something like that. And we can roll for that now or in the future. And that would get you there quickly.
Right.
Though it does involve a use of magic in the valley.
Right.
Although pretty far from the mountain.
Now it could also teleport to the Temple of the Iron Empress, and I know that is much closer to, because that's within sight of that valley. Where
it's within sight of the mountains of that valley. And so you teleported to a peak and looked down then at the gathering.
Oh, is that right? I thought I walked up a hill and then looked down into the valley. Did I teleport a second?
I thought you teleported.
Okay. Okay.
But
so maybe I'll just follow the directions. Probably just play it safe. Covertness is key.
Right.
Not to use magic at all.
So, you have lunch brought to you, and you uh, dine away. It's food. It's fine. Uh, Not being gourmand, you just sort of shrug it off, and um, you go and see if you can visit Kepik.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the head priest of the Keeps Temple.
There we go.
A higher up in the temple comes to you and apologizes, but Kepik is extraordinarily busy today. And they ask if they can help.
I say it must. Unfortunately, it's news that's for his ears only. Sure, if there's even just a brief window where I could meet him tonight.
She produces pen and paper and says, "You're, quill and paper," and says, "You're welcome to leave a message, of course, and I'll give it to him personally."
Okay. I mean, I'll write down that. How do I want to word it? For the upcoming meeting with Enukar, I would like to discuss. I guess just discussing what we'll talk about at the upcoming meeting with Enukar. Um, in person.
Yeah. Now that's going to conflict with your plans to go into town and see if you can track down this person questioning the guards.
Right. So I just kind of say on the message, tonight or tomorrow morning would be best.
She, you fold the message up. She takes it, bows, asks if there's anything else you need.
Nope. Thank you very much.
Off you go. Where do you go?
We will return to. I guess I tell her I'll be in my quarters in case they need a message sent to me. So I'll just return to my quarters and try a little more reading from my tome. I'm looking through I added the directions to my, list of, I got all my maps and letters and papers, and I forgot I have a 5,000-year-old recipe for making a potion of fire breathing. Very important, keeping that on hand.
Use it at any time. Start your own cooking show.
I had a little trouble finding the ingredients, but
that's right.
No, the potion of fire breathing is for the cooking. It's actually
that's right. That's your own heating element. Now we're cooking with magic. Yeah, not much luck at the tome. You're just distracted.
Okay. I can try reading a different book. My book on golems that I've been reading through.
Yeah, you get a good 2 hours knocked off at that.
Okay.
catch yourself dozing, set the text down, just kind of enjoy the comfort of the room. A little fire going. It's July, but it's still chilly up in the mountains and inside of a keep.
Wow, what a place to be. Chilly in July.
Yeah.
If only.
About 4 o'clock, late afternoon, a note is slipped under your door. It's from Kepik. He set aside some time for you at sundown. So that'll give you a chance to do that meeting. And then if you want to go investigate this person asking questions.
Yeah.
So you sort of just spend the time enjoyably.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice just to be able to take a load off and not worry about giants or demons or catacombs. The sun begins touching the mountain, head over to the temple.
Mm-hmm.
You're ushered into a room with Kepik. He is signing documents and handing them off to various acolytes and so on. He seems quite harried and tired.
I say, I spent the whole day relaxing.
Yeah, right. What's the problem? You seem exhausted. You should take a load off.
That's the life of an adventure, right? Is like relaxing and drinking and partying, and then like a life-threatening situation, like glimpsing death,
Right.
and then back to relaxing and partying. Very different, very healthy lifestyle, I have to say.
Terror punctuated by luxury, you know.
Yeah, that's a good succinct way to put it.
Kepik signs the last of the things he's got to sign. Says, "Bring us some wine. Go." Moments later, glasses and wine are brought in. He gestures to a chair by the fireplace. He shuffles his way over there, offers you a glass of wine.
Absolutely.
And pours himself one. He throws himself in a chair. "I'm sorry you find me in such a state. I'm afraid I don't have long to give you before I have to turn to other duties."
So that's fine. It should be brief, I hope. I just wanted to discuss. So I'm assuming you've sent out summons for the priestess Enukar to come to Balabri.
Yes.
Okay.
First thing this morning, I'd half hoped to see my messenger return by dark. There's still some hours left. Otherwise, he would probably stay at the temple there in the village.
Okay. So I say that I would like to talk with Enokar myself, but it might be better if you lead the do the interview as, to make it seem as if it's coming from, directly from the temple. This is of, a very dear, important interest to Miagral, that we suspect something is, or we know something is happening in Pelka, that could be a threat to Miagral.
Athene has hinted at as much. I'm fine to handle the interrogation.
Okay.
What would you have me ask?
So we want to know if she has heard of any kind of anything of a trade or a barter with any kind of with the magistrate of the town or the elven noble who appears. Their true names, respectively, are Volshad and Holver, though they might be using, pseudonyms when they speak with the villagers. Also, any conversation the two of them has had that she's overheard would be important to know. Anything specific to a kind of barter or trade, or even any specific mention of certain artifacts. One in particular called the Nine-Fingered Candle.
That sounds vaguely familiar. But never mind. Go on.
Let's see. What else would we want to have? What else might she have overheard? Would be good to know. If there's any other individuals she's overheard, any other people that have visited the town that seem of wealthy status. It seemed like they might have come from a larger city, or any people who might be of the arts, right? And we'd like to know if she's seen that and learned their names or where they come from.
Roll for me.
30.
And you throw in the name Ivar as well.
Sure. Ivar. Also, I almost forgot what was the other dwarf who was looking for the
Dishal?
Dishal. So I mentioned those. If any mention of the name Dishal or Ivar are also good things to ask for.
He rises and gets quill and paper and begins taking notes. What if I get information? I mean, if I get yeses on a lot of these questions, what am I to do with her?
That's a good question. It might be best to keep her here. Not only would she might need to ask her further questions, but it might be endangering her to send her back if she does know so much. If there's any way you could, keep her for a few days, if it seems like she has much to tell, then I could return and question her myself as well.
Well, of course, you can just pass this off to Fraudrum and Athene.
True.
And, leave yourself a little freer and have a loose end you don't have to worry about. And it leaves your timing in the valley, Crom's Valley, freer.
Right.
Um,
So yeah, I say if she does seem to know quite a bit, I would ask go to Fraldrum and Athene and have them potentially involved as well. Yeah.
Yeah, guide you from there.
Yeah. Anything else I would ask? I guess also ask if noticed any strange creatures either in the sky or around the village, and if she can describe them. So we know of, and I described them to him. I know of one, a Nowglyph that has been spotted near the village, as well as, and I described the flying kind of triangular creature that was seen in the valley as well.
These are dark forces.
Mm-hmm.
You don't suspect Anukar being involved, do you?
Based on, yeah, no, I don't think so. I think the whole village is possibly under, under their sway, but not so much, willfully helping. But you can never be too careful.
We face a political problem here too, you surely must know. Some of the priests in the town are not happy with Miagral, with her ladyship. And Anukar reports to that temple more so than they report to me. They are her direct superiors.
Interesting.
News of these dark forces so near Balabri will not play to her ladyship's favor.
It might be better to not ask those questions then, about the specific creatures, right? To at least not draw attention to it. If she repeats what she was asked to anyone else in town.
I was going to head off trouble and have Anukar be on the lookout for any such dark forces and make sure that she reports it to the local temple and make sure that my name is brought up such that it's as though Miagral is keeping an eye on that valley long ahead of the temple.
That's actually smarter. Yeah.
The only thing is, it may endanger Anukar if she brings up any sort of threat to the temple.
Right.
Because that word could make it back to whatever these forces are that you suspect are at work.
Mm-hmm.
It is a risk. I'm asking your opinion if you think it's worth taking.
It's hard. There's a couple things to weigh there, right? I mean, the moral part of it, also the actual probability of Holvert does seem ruthless. I feel like he would if he thinks that she was giving away information.
And it also risks the temple acting precipitously.
As in, like the temple itself getting involved in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, you think there's bad influences in the valley? Well, we'll send in a dozen paladins and see what they find." And that's going to force Helver and Volshad's hand, or force their retreat when they're not ready to retreat.
Right.
But that means you lose contact with them.
Exactly. I mean, why don't we? I guess it does seem like a big risk to take. Yeah. Because we could, if we find out information, then we'd be obligated to act on it. So it might be better to keep the questions, centered around or away from the matter of the presence of dark forces.
Supernatural creatures, at least.
Right.
So
Simply
he scratches through.
of the village.
Yeah.
And what she's overheard and people she's seen. We don't want to start something, that will get out of our hands.
So he scratches through the questions regarding, unnatural sightings.
Yeah.
There's a knock at his door. He looks beyond you at the door and looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, but our audience is at an end. I'm called to other duties.
No, I think that's this should be a good. This is a productive meeting, so thank you again.
Finishes his wine, rises, shakes your hand. You probably head back to your quarters to prepare to go back to Balabry.
Yeah.
So
let's just get dressed in my town clothes. I'll keep my daggers at my belt.
You could equip yourself for the mission and then stay at an inn and leave from Balabry.
True. I was thinking it's a little better to look disarming.
Well, you can always change in the inn.
True, actually. So we'll do that. We'll just gather all my stuff, all my travel gear, and then we'll go into town.
Okay. Well, it sounds like a good time for a break.
Yeah.
And
are getting feisty and we'll go feed him. So
that's funny.
Perfect.
So guys, we're going to go stretch our legs and refill our drinks. So just bear with us for a few moments and we'll be right back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. Let's get Max back on here. There he is. I told you he wouldn't abandon us. I know you were all worried, but he will always be there.
I really thought about it,
Yeah.
And
Finally,
Kevin, of course, had to remind me that my family's being held hostage.
That's right.
I don't know why I love that, bringing that joke back. I find it really funny. I hope everyone else does.
Trigger warning: if your family has ever been held hostage,
this is not the stream for you.
This is not the stream for you.
It took you 160 episodes to realize that.
That's right. So we've got the priest Kepik squared away in terms of handling the interrogation of Anukar, and hopefully trying to get an eavesdropper in the village of Pelka to find out what Holver and Volshad are up to.
Mm-hmm.
You are retired to your room and grabbed your gear. You've dressed in your town clothes, but you've packed everything you need for adventuring. I suppose you're not going to use a horse.
No.
So just load up your gear and head on down to Balabry at the foot of the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully find a way to stumble across Ivar, who has been asking way too many questions of the local soldiery.
So we look at the Traveler's Pot is a place I've been to before, and there's also the Eternal Lantern. Do I remember if either of those are more popular? Like kind of a more, I guess the Eternal Lantern is nicer. It's a silver piece of night. So that seems like a place this guy might frequent.
Well, not if he's looking for soldiery.
You know what? True, actually, he was talking about shoulder, so actually it would probably be the Traveler's Pot, the lower end place that he does.
Right, more affordable alcohol for the soldiers. So,
so I'll start by heading there, and I'll ask around if Ivar's been in, and then if so, we can potentially try some other places.
Right. Walk into Traveler's Pot. And there is Ivar.
I'm surprised I found it and have to roll to navigate.
That's right. I rolled for you. You were doing okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
So, he spots you as soon as you walk in the door, unfortunately.
So no real chance for eavesdropping.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was thinking I should have, hid my face, but it's too late now. It's all right. So I will. Does he approach me at all? If not, then I'll.
No. You probably need to get a room, right? Set your gear down.
Yeah. Let me do that first. And unload all my stuff.
Roll for me.
1.
Okay. Good for you. That's excellent. So yeah, you pay for room. Do you have a room cost here?
I do. It's 2 copper pieces.
That's pretty typical. So slip a couple copper.
The Traveler's Motel.
Probably a couple more copper for food.
Yeah, I don't have that written down, but 3 copper pieces a meal. Yeah, there it is.
And then, go set your gear down. Ivar is talking to a couple of soldiers now. He hid any look of recognition he had when he spotted you at the door, but he keeps his face turned toward the door as he's talking to the goblins.
Mm-hmm.
His clothes are now. Oh,
Oh, whew. Man, I'm just allergic to goblins.
apparently.
I just took an allergy pill too. It's been bad today. Hopefully it'll help soon.
You're gonna doze off midstream, is what's gonna
Except
happen.
now I'm drowsy, but we'll see.
We will find out, right?
Okay, so I'll take a spot near the table next. If I can find an unoccupied table nearby, I could hear what he's kind of talking about. I don't really want to join his discussion, but I do want to talk to him eventually.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to hear what he's asking about.
So you take a seat, and the soldiers, they sort of salute you as you come back out from your room. Ivar turns to see, who they're saluting. Roll for me.
69.
If he's interested in you, he's hiding it well. He turns back.
Is he a gay goblin? What? Impossible.
You can hear the conversation very well, which begs a question of hearing.
Are they raising their voices?
No, it's just clear the way that the goblins, the soldiery, may be not speaking quietly, but they're also speaking in your direction, so it's easier to hear.
Right.
But should have had you roll while you're in your room, because you do have potions that would help hearing, but you could also use your magic and improve your hearing even more. To make sure you catch every word. So I'm just throwing that out there to you. If you wanted to cast a spell to really improve your hearing, you could do so.
Well, yeah. Well, if it seems like I'm missing some parts of the conversation, then I think what I'll do is excuse myself, go back to my room, take a potion, and come back. Would be the safest option. I don't feel comfortable casting magic in a public space.
Yeah,
knowing my track record.
Yeah,
especially with that spell.
Yeah, that spell is really bad. The guards nod.
Conversation with the gods.
Refer to you and nod your way, saying, she's one of the guests at the keep.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm looped into the conversation now, so I'll turn and say, yes, I do serve the lady.
The soldier who didn't speak elbows the guy, like, you're such a loudmouth, kind of a thing, right? And the other goblin looks at you apologetically and covers his mouth and is like, I'm sorry, my lady. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be rude.
what if I make eye contact with Ivar, do I get any kind of like feeling from him?
Ivar turns to take you in and to open the conversation up to you. Roll for me.
6.
You are on fire. On fire, sir. No real read on him.
Okay. Conversing with.
He's well past middle age. Clothing is very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Has a small dog with him on a chain. Fine silverish chain. He stands and bows. He says, "My lady Brise, I was just inquiring about the hospitality of her ladyship in the keep." As a businessman, it's always good to get in with the nobles. Opportunities present themselves that way.
Mm-hmm. I ask, what business do you deal in?
Gems mostly, but my supply has lately dried up, and so I was looking at moving into other areas.
I'm assuming he means like appraising gems or trading gems.
Probably providing gems for the nobility's jewelers to make jewelry out of.
Okay.
Man, so dry mouth. What's going on? From what I understand, her ladyship does not wear much jewelry. She wears simply the tiara of her office. But tell me about her court. Do her ladies in waiting wear a good deal of jewelry? Is it a market worth plumbing, do you think?
Does he, from his questions, does he seem honestly interested in this, or is there maybe something else he's looking for?
Roll for me.
Come on. 100. Well, there we go.
Roll again and add it.
Oh, yeah. Plus 73. Man, I love when you roll a 1 and a 100, like real close together. You're like, really?
Yeah.
I'm crazy.
No, he's not interested at all. No. This is, but it's a useful cover to have if you're going to have to talk about nobles, is to talk about luxury items.
So, say, actually, not many of the court really is interested in jewelry. It's a little odd for a businessman to deals in gems to not know his clientele.
Well, if he's new to the region, that's not
I
that.
guess, yeah. I don't know.
And keep in mind, you're challenging him, right?
Right.
And I'm not sure that's what you want to do.
Yeah. I'm always really bad at this. Want to try to lull him into telling me what he really
Right.
is planning here.
You want the conversation to go on so
Mhm.
that, you're not looking for a confrontation. You're looking at getting him to play out his agenda.
Okay. So yeah, I'll instead play into it, kind of like, yes, several of Mia Gral's court do, um, are make up for the lady's lack of um, jewelry for certain. And I'll, can name a few just names, I've overheard at the
Sure.
balls and gatherings.
The joke about what did Cinderella say when she arrived at the ball? Okay, moving on.
That's terrible. God damn.
That was a satisfying response from you, I have to say.
That's actually, I like that. It's pretty good. There's layers to that. I'm like, that's disgusting. Actually, that's really funny.
That's cracking me up. He seems pleased. He says, well, if I can only get my supply problem solved, then this may be a place to put down some stakes and see if I can make a go of it here.
Okay. I say perhaps I could, be of assistance, a liaison if you need.
That's most kind of you.
Mm-hmm.
Having entry into the keep so that I can arrange meetings is a huge step forward. I would, of course, be happy to gift you any choice pieces of jewelry that might tickle your fancy as well as by way of gratitude.
I'd be flattered, and I tell him I do appreciate blue and violet stones, although something not too flashy.
He says, "Consider it done."
Is there anyone? Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if there's anyone else in your employ or part of your business, or are you a lone businessman?
I have around 20 employees, liaisons with suppliers in various countries, and I have clerks at our home base taking care of the finances. There's a real sense that he's just making up numbers off the top of his head.
Yeah.
His questions to you in the following several minutes sort of direct themselves to your role at the keep,
Mm-hmm.
and how often you're there, under the auspices of trying to make your schedules meet up, to make sure that he's not going to be overtaxing on your schedule and so on. But there's a real sense that his interest is on you.
Hmm.
there are no questions about other guests there
Right.
that that were, applied to the soldiers you spoke to at the keep. Um,
Hmm.
he buys the soldiers another round, gestures to your glass, and asks if he can get you anything.
Would it be good to maybe talk in private if he would be more open? I'm wondering, or that maybe run the risk of, I don't know. I don't know if it feels like I'm in danger or not, or if he's just really just looking for information on me.
Well, I mean, anyone looking for information on you is going to make you feel like you're endangered.
Right.
Just
But
because
even to him specifically, right? He just very much seems. It's hard to tell, with anybody. They could be a powerful spellcaster, and I just don't know it.
we'll roll your evaluation of him, as a threat.
Yeah. 47.
There's not a sense that he doesn't move like a warrior. His muscle tone is almost non-existent. So maybe a spellcaster, if anything.
Right.
It may be that he's just a hireling. And he plays his role fairly well. He's given the attire. He knows the right words to say.
Right.
But
Yeah, well, I'll just kind of keep playing into it. So I kind of loosen up and like, sure, I'll take another drink. That'd be fine.
he, barkeep, anything she wants, so he doesn't handle the glass himself.
Right.
You order something tasty and appropriately expensive to make him pay, at least in one way. He begins, he turns the conversation to trying to arrange a meeting with you outside of the keep so that you're not seen together in the keep, and therefore sort of give away his advantage. You know what I mean? And that he's angling to pick your brain about each individual's tastes.
Right, I see. So
but doesn't want to be seen in your company, and therefore sort of tip his hand that you're the way in. I mean, that'll be somewhat tipped once he's granted access as your visitor.
Right.
So, he's asking, your travel plans, if you have any.
Yeah. So I say I could meet in. I have some business to attend to, but I could meet in several days, perhaps in 5 days from now.
He's amenable.
Okay.
Because perhaps we could meet in finer circumstances, such as at the Eternal Lantern.
That works. much to meet. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything else I can really ask him that would. He just seems very. Again, he hasn't asked anything specific about me, right? Just kind of like my goings about and my service under Mia Grawl. I wonder if there's any way I could try to get, his employer, right? Who sent him, if anybody.
Well, I mean,
Throw out a name and look for recognition, in his face.
That's a
suspicion is Algrit.
Algrit's a suspicion. Yeah.
Or even Volshad or Holver.
More likely Volshad than Holver.
Yes.
Another tactic you have is to let Azrael follow him by scent and go back to his house and see if he reports to anybody. Riskier, but a definitely bigger reward if you are successful.
I like that plan. I forgot I have Azrael.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me. Okay. So we'll so I kind of just leave it at that. Like, all right, then 5 days from now we can definitely discuss more. Look forward to working with you.
So, you've sort of finished your meal. I guess you just sort of need to hang out until he leaves. You need to know when he leaves, and you can't do that if you go to your room.
Right. So I will, find a corner and read / pretend to read.
Right.
I'm just gonna watch his movement.
So maybe we should end here, and then we can pick up with you tailing him in town at night, and that'll be a fun beginning.
Yeah.
So guys, thanks for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it as always. If you think we're doing a good job, then hey, like and subscribe. You think we're doing a great job, then go to Donorbox and send us some love. We always appreciate it. If you want to hear more from Max, and I think you should, then go to his YouTube channel where he discusses the role of music and original soundtracks in video games. Thanks as always to Elliot Dunovitz for their terrific character art that we use almost every session. If you want to see more of their work, go to artstation.com/Tortolua. And I've written a novel called A Shore Too Far. You can find it on Amazon as an ebook and a paperback. Thanks for everything, guys. Max, why don't you say goodbye to these lovely people?
Goodbye. Quinn just suggests we stream for 12 more hours. Let's do it. It's, maybe another day, Quinn. Maybe our
right
stream 240 24-hour stream.
That's right. So,
hope you have a good night. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.